another episode of Giggles and Guidance Podcast, where we delve into pressing issues with insights from experts and commentators. I'm Colmir Pascual, and today we're diving into the topic of sexuality education in the Philippines. Joining us again are my friends. Would you like to say hi to our listeners and introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm JJ. How you guys doing?
Hi everyone, my name is Aubrey.
And hi, I'm Rina.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing fine. So, for today's podcast, we have a panel of distinguished guests and stakeholders joining us to shed light on this important topic. Without further ado, let's dive into the discussion. Our first segment focuses on how sexuality education is integrated into the curriculum in the Philippines and whether STD prevention and awareness are adequately covered. I'd like to start by asking each of our guests to share their insights on this topic. Let's hear from the perspective of the teacher.
Actually, nagturo ako 20 years ago and masasabi ko at that time bilang nanggaling din ako sa conservative family at yung pinasukan ko din is conservative school din, which is the Jesus is Lord College Foundation. Although meron ng mga pag-aaral o pagtuturo tungkol sa sexuality education, nahihirapan ako at that time na ituro since medyo yung topic is taboo or mahirap siyang i-integrate lalo na sa school kasi baka mamaya meron akong madiscuss na maaring hindi maintindihan o yung iba kasi nalalaswaan, hindi open-minded pa nung mga ganong time. So, at that time, mahirap. Although meron namang biology class, di ba, pinag-aaralan yung mga parts ng katawan ng tao. And then, may mga topic na related sa STD awareness, for example. Pero, pagka time na namin na i-discuss na namin ito sa mga bata, medyo mahirap. Kasi yung media, yung social media before, hindi naman ganun ka-boom na katulad ngayon na kahit maliit na bata, marunong nang gumamit ng cellphone at madali na nilang ma-search. Kumbaga, pag meron silang hindi alam, i-google lang, mabilis na nilang mahahanap. And as a result tuloy, yung student, hindi nila ganoon masyadong nare-receive yung adequate educations tungkol sa paano mape-prevent yung STD. Since, halimbawa, nagdi-discuss ka, it's either ikaw nagguro, hindi mo alam kung saan ka lulugar, kung paano mo i-discuss yung ganung mga bagay sa mga bata. At the same time, hindi rin na halimbawa nagtanong ako sa kanila, hindi nila gaanong masasagot. It's either hindi nila talaga alam or ang main factor na lang is sobrang nahihiya silang pag-usapan. So yun yung naging problema nung time namin. Hindi katulad ngayon na medyo madali-dali na at saka yung isip ng mga kabataan ngayon hindi na kamukha nung kabataan noon. In addition to that, nung time na yon, yung for example nga yung mga STDs, yung paano mape-prevent yung mga STDs and awareness, hindi masyadong natatakil, hindi masyadong nadidiscuss. Kumbaga, at that time, parang dinaanan lang, isinama lang sa exam, pero yung lalim ng kaalaman ay hindi masyadong naituturo o na-impart sa mga isipan ng mga bata since napakahirap niyang itakil. Kasi nga at that time, napaka-conservative pa ng mga pag-iisip ng mga kabataan. Kumbaga, once lang nung time na yun, pag mag-start ka pa lang mag-discuss about parts pa nga lang ng body ng mga tao, yung mga bata nung nagbubungis-ngisan na, yung time na yun, yung alam mo, yung inosente pa yung isip nila na meron ka lang masabi lang na words with regards to sex, iba na yung naiisip nila. So, ikaw din as edukador, may hiya ka rin na magsalita or mag-discuss ng tungkol sa ganong mga topic. kaakibat din nun, mahirapan din nating ituro kung paano nila maiiwasan yung mga ganung topic. So, ang nangyayari, na ituturo nga, pero sa tingin ko, mababaw lang. Hindi yung talagang ipapaintindi mo sa mga bata kung ano talaga yung paano siya mape-prevent, paano ka magiging aware. Kaya tuloy ang nangyayari nung time na yon, yung mga bata, mahawakan lang, papakasal na, nahalikan lang, akala mo katapusan na ng kanilang pagkatao, lalo na sa mga babae. So, sobrang mahirap nung time namin na yun.
I get you so much, Miss. Teaching about STDs is like incorporating or walking on eggshells in a minefield, right? Like, how can you incorporate those sensitive topics on those minds of high school students, of those college students, right? Now we can proceed now on hearing other thoughts, like from college students, about the integration of sexuality education into the curriculum and its coverage of STD prevention and awareness.
From what I have observed, sexuality education is still scarce when we talk about its integration in the education system in the country. This is proven when we see a high rate of so many young people practicing unsafe sex, getting unwanted pregnancies, and facing consequences because of inadequate sex education. So with that, this leads me to saying that STD prevention and awareness, although they're talked about in school, but not enough for people to be fully educated about it, which is why some people still exhibit fears when going to hospitals to get treated if ever they are diagnosed with STDs, because they're scared of what other people might think. So this leads us to the fact that sexuality awareness and sexuality education, particularly in the healthcare aspect, mainly the healthcare aspect,
leading to many young
is
people
still not
practicing
really
unsafe
talked
sex
about
without
enough in the
adequate
Philippines.
knowledge. While STD prevention is discussed in schools, it's often not enough. There's a need for a comprehensive education to empower youth to make informed decisions about their sexual health and reduce the STD rates. Now, from the perspective of a high school student, how do you see sexuality education being addressed within the Philippine education system, particularly concerning STD prevention?
So in the Philippines, they teach us about sexuality in subjects like health or values education. But honestly, it's kind of a hit or miss. Some schools cover STDs really well, but others don't really talk about it much. It depends on the teacher and the school, I guess.
So I think that also highlights the education crisis in the Philippines. There's a significant disparity in the quality of education among schools, and people strive to get into good schools for a reason because of this difference in education that is so drastic. So I guess that's also something that the country needs to address, especially DepEd, that all schools need to be capable of providing quality education, especially on sensitive topics like that of STD prevention and sexual health. Monitoring these things are also important to ensure that everyone is equally aware of sensitive issues other than those that were already mentioned. So it's not just about teaching the curriculum, but also ensuring that quality education is consistent across the board.
Thank you, Rina. So, moving on to our second segment, let's delve into how conservative cultural attitudes and the stigma surrounding STDs affect public health efforts in the Philippines, including STD testing and treatment uptake among youth. So, could you please start us off by sharing your insights, Miss?
Malaki yung nag-iepekto ng pagiging konserbatibo ng ating kultura. Kung ikukumpara natin sa ibang bansa, ito ay may positibo at negatibong epekto, hindi lamang sa pamumuhay ng mga kabataan at that time. Syempre, naapektuhan din yung pamumuhay ng kanilang mga magulang at ang malawakang pagkasira din ng ating lipunan. Bakit? Dahil sa pagiging sarado ng isip ng mga kabataan at that time, imbis na ma-detect nila agad o malaman nila agad yung kanilang mga kapansanan. For example, meron na pala silang mga sexually transmitted disease. Dahil nga ang ating lipunan ng mga panahon na yun ay konserbatibo pa. So mahihiya ka na magtanong o lalong-lalo na yung magpatingin sa kinauukulan o sa mga doktor. So ang impact nito, imbis na ma-prevent, hindi mo alam, wala kang alam sa sarili mo kasi nga unang-una, hindi rin naman naituro sa'yo, wala ka rin namang kamalayan. So, ang nangyayari, naapektuhan mo na yung sarili mo. So, hindi mo alam na meron ka palang STDs na i-transfer mo sa iba. So, naapektuhan mo yung iba. So, naka-apekto sa sarili mo. And then, nagkakaroon ka rin ng problemang mabigat sa pamilya mo. And then, at the same time, lumalaganap yung mga sakit na to, yung mga sexually transmitted diseases na nga na to, at naapektuhan din yung lipunan. So, imbis na parang domino effect. Dahil nga sa pagkakaroon natin ng ganong kinalakihan, na hindi rin naman natin masisisi kasi, kumbaga, namula tayo nung panahon namin, nung time na nagtuturo ako, sa ganong lipunan. So, ang negatibong epekto nito, lumalaganap yung mga sakit imbes na mapigilan natin yung pagdami. Kasi kung ang mga tao ay may sapat na kaalaman, alam nila kung paano nila to ipe-prevent, and kung sila man ay meron na nun, alam din nila kung paano ito malulutas. Sa tingin ko naman, ang positibo naman ng pagkakaroon ng konserbatibong kultura at that time, kahit papaano, yung mga kabataan, hindi sila, kumbaga, conservative sila eh. Hindi sila katulad ng mga napapansin kong kabataan ngayon na masyado nang sa sobrang pagiging exposed nila sa lahat ng bagay, akala nila lahat ng ginagawa nila is tama na, akala nila meron na silang sapat na pag-iisip para magpasya. So sa tingin ko, mas nakakadagdag din yun para lalong dumami yung mga sexually transmitted diseases natin na kinakaharap din ng ating bansa sa ngayon. Pero kung halimbawa, ito ay sabihin na natin yung kultura noon, hindi man siya ganun na-impart, meron pa rin pagkatakot sa mga ugali ng mga kabataan dahil nasa isip nila na pag ginawa nila ito, meron silang maaring mahawahan sila ng mga ganong bagay o mahawahan sila ng mga STDs. Ngayon naman, ang nakikita ko sa panahon naman ngayon, parang wala nang takot yung mga kabataan sa sobrang masyado ng advance yung kanilang kaisipan. Iniisip ko, bakit pa sila magpapa-check up kung pwede naman nilang i-google kung ano yung mga first aid na pwede na lang i-apply. So, although na ituturo or mas na-i-integrate to ngayon, kasi nga ang daming paraan para maituro to, ang daming paraan para malaman mismo ng hindi lang ng mga mag-aaral o ng kahit sino, sa ang daming paraan sa social media, ang daming mga seminars na pwede mo i-click kahit sa YouTube lang, na para lang malaman mo o maging aware ka sa mga sexually transmitted diseases na to. So, yun yung pagkakaiba nung para sa akin bilang nagtuturo dati at bilang magulang na rin, yun yung nakikita kong kaibahan.
I agree. Conservative attitudes and stigma in the Philippines make it hard to improve public health. Only talking about abstinence limits how much people know about preventing STDs. Many young people are scared to get help because they're afraid of being judged. So we need to teach more about sexuality and make people feel less ashamed about STDs. So now, from an experience or from the experience of a college student, how do you see cultural attitudes impacting public health efforts, especially among young people?
Due to the Philippines' conservative nature, it definitely takes into account how some people diagnosed with STD, for example, are afraid of seeking help because of the taboo surrounding it. which can potentially explain why STD treatment rates aren't improving here in the Philippines. So, STD testing and treatment uptake among youth in the Philippines is definitely low because of that said stigma. So, the stigma should first be removed for people to be more comfortable about anything related to STDs, whether it be
Exactly.
treatment
Clear the
or
stigma,
diagnosis,
clear the
or
path to better
just
health,
getting help
upgrading the
from it
sexual education,
when people
and
have it.
also to clear or much lower sexually transmitted diseases records, and also a happier teens. From the experience of a high school student, how do you think the stigma surrounding sexually transmitted diseases affect STD testings and treatment uptake among youth in the Philippines?
The way people here think about sex and STDs can make it tough for us teens. There's a lot of shame and embarrassment around STDs, so many of us are scared to get tested or treated. We worry about what people will think if they find out.
Now, I feel like this sentiment reflects a common challenge faced by teens in many cultures, not just in ours. The fear of judgment and stigma surrounding STDs can create barriers to seeking testing and treatment. It's important to create a supportive and non judgmental environment where teens feel comfortable discussing sexual health and accessing necessary care.
Our final segment focuses on how an enhanced comprehensive sexuality education curriculum could positively influence the health and well-being of Filipino youth and contribute to reducing STD incidences. Miss, could you please start us off by sharing your thoughts on this topic?
Para sa akin, mas ma-enhance yung tinatawag nila na CSE or yung Comprehensive Sexuality Educations kung ito ay sisimulan pa lang or yung bata, sisimulan pa lang ng bata ito sa kanilang mismong tahanan. Kumbaga, kung sa bahay pa lang maganda na yung foundation na mabibuild ng parents sa kanilang mga anak, kahit saan mo sila ipalaot, kahit dalhin mo sila sa school o mapunta sila sa kanilang mga barkada, mas magiging maganda yung foundation nila. Second, kailangan pagtibayin ng ating sangay ng edukasyon yung kanilang curriculum tungkol sa mga ganitong topic. Kasi naniniwala ako na kapag binigyan nila ng diin or binigyan nila emphasize yung ganitong mga topic, kasi kung mapapansin natin yung mga STDs na yan, mga HIV na yan, tumataas na yung bilang o dumadami. So ibig sabihin, merong mali sa atin, merong mali sa mga tao. Hindi lang sa government, hindi lang sa education, kundi mismong saan nanggagaling yung mga kabataan, bakit sila nagiging ganon. It's either kulang sila sa kaalaman or alam naman nila pero hindi na sila takot gumawa kasi nga nakikita nila na merong mga solusyon or mas madali na ngayon nilang malalaman, makakalap na meron silang pwedeng gawin, pwede nilang i-search lang nila. So, para sa akin, so ayusin muna yung foundation ng family and bata. So, mga seminars between parents and teachers, okay yon para sa akin kasi nagkakaroon ng batuhan ng ideas. And then second, between school, kung paano nila, although kahit pagandahin kasi ng sa ngayon ng edukasyon ang kanilang curriculum, para sa akin kung hindi naman ito i-implement, kung hindi naman to bibigyan diin ng mga namumuno na ituro, ipaunawa at i-apply, hindi rin ito magiging successful. Kasi kahit pondohan ng government ang ating mga curriculum para baguhin, pag-aralan, para mas maintindihan ng mga bata, kung hindi naman to talagang tututukang i-implement, I don't think na magiging successful ito. At saka Pangatlo, para sa tingin ko, kahit na maganda yung foundation, maganda yung curriculum, maganda yung school maganda yung tinuturo ng school, kung mismong sa kabataan magmumula yung problema na hindi nila iintindihin ang magiging epekto nito, hindi lamang sa kanila, hindi lamang sa pamilya nila, kundi paging sa mga lipunang kinagagalawan nila o lipunang kinabibilangan nila, hindi rin ito magiging matagumpay.
I agree. An improved sex ed curriculum could cut STD rates. It gives us the facts and ditches the stigma, so we're not scared to get help. So it's important to spread the word. Let's hear from the perspective of a college student now on how do you envision an enhanced CSE curriculum making a difference in the health and well-being of the Filipino youth.
An enhanced comprehensive sexuality education curriculum can definitely positively influence the health and well-being of Filipino youth and contribute to reducing STD incidences. This ties back to the stigma regarding STDs I mentioned before, and how people diagnosed with it, if ever, or for example, are afraid to seek help since what I mentioned, the stigma. And because of that, when we expose these kinds of topics to young children, especially students, so in a curriculum-based system, they can be exposed to that kind of information early on and can be educated about it, so reducing the risk of people getting it or getting the negative consequences of not being educated enough on sexual education. So yeah, definitely sexuality education should definitely be a priority, especially in the ages where young people are still developing. So better yet start them young so that we can educate them early on. So with that, we can
Absolutely.
potentially reduce
stigma
the risks
around
of getting STD and heighten the STD treatment.
It's a step
rates.
towards a healthier and more informed society. So now, let's hear from the high school student. In your opinion, what are some key components that should be included in the enhanced CSE curriculum to address STD prevention effectively?
If they improved how they teach us about sex and stuff, it could be a game changer. A better curriculum could give us the right info about STDs and how to protect ourselves. Plus, it could help us change how people see STDs, so we're not as afraid to get help. Overall, it could mean fewer STDs and better health for us teens.
Totally. It's like upgrading from dial-up to fiber optic internet, right? Faster, smoother, and way more reliable. A better curriculum could be a total game changer for us teens, giving us the tools and knowledge we need to navigate the murky waters of sexual health with confidence.
Thank you, JJ, for that very eventful answer. And thank you so much for our guests who made time for us. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in to Giggles and Guidance. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it insightful. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll bring you more engaging content in the future. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep listening. Take care and see you next time on Giggles and Guidance. Remember, every conversation brings us closer to understanding each other in the world we live in. Thank you, and Animal Lasang.